Next up, to me, was probably the best of the 3DS teasers they showed off was Super Mario 3D. It was a 3D platformer, much like Super Mario 64, but it also looked like, rather than being about collecting stars and things like that Super Mario 64 had, it would feature like level progression like the original Super Mario Bros, but it would be in a 3D format. And okay, and then this game also brought back the Tanuki suit, which a lot of people are excited about. If one of your favorite Mario games is Super Mario Bros. 3, I mean, for me, the Tanuki suit really didn't do much, but for me, just to see Mario in another game is always good news. Um, Next up was then Kid Icarus 3D, which is another game I'm excited about. The multiplayer looks really cool. The single player looks really cool. The teaser they showed for us looked really cool. The only thing I had to complain about is Pit's voice sounds really, really annoying. I can confirm one thing for you. If it is the same guy from Super Smash Bros., it doesn't sound like him. It really doesn't. And I was really hoping that Pit would come back and voice this Pit, but it's not. Or again, if it is, he didn't use the same voice. Pit's voice in this teaser was really bad. I mean, it was like high pitch, it was squeaky, it was obnoxious. Like, that character in any given RPG that, just kind of complains and moans and groans and makes you want to, like, kick them halfway across the earth. He sounded like that. So, that was something I wasn't too impressed with, but everything else looked amazing. And then they closed out the sort of 3DS montage here with Luigi's Mansion 2. Now, if you're a personal friend of mine, you know that I did not enjoy the original Luigi's Mansion at all. I really felt like there were far too many moments in that game where I was left without a single clue where to go next. I mean, like, in practice it was fun, but when like there were 5 different parts where okay, I beat a boss and then would be left with absolutely no idea what to do next. It was a little frustrating for me. So yeah, I didn't really enjoy the first Luigi's Mansion. So I'm not as excited about Luigi's Mansion 2 that I probably could be, but again, we'll see. We'll definitely see. It's one I'm kind of cautious about. They announced there would be multiple mansions to explore, not just the one mansion, which was kind of cool. Obviously, it would be in 3D, but they're also talking about like taking advantage of like 3D view. Like, there are some things you're gonna need that 3D view to be able to like pull off. So we'll see how that rolls out. And then they did like a quick little montage of third-party 3DS games, including like Resident Evil, Driver, Pac-Man, Galaga, Metal Gear Solid, Tekken, Cave Eater, Tetris, and Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games. Yeah. I like Mario. I like Sonic. And yeah, for years we were waiting to see a crossover between these two. But why does it have to be an Olympics-based minigame collection? Why not throw them into an actual platforming game? I mean, like, that makes sense to me. Does it make sense to y'all? I don't know, but anyway, they also they talked about how you'd be able to download previews and demos from your 3DS. They talked about the ability to purchase games from Nintendo's old systems. They talked about how early on in like that sort of virtual console thing, they talked about early on it would be mostly like Game Boy and Game Boy Color games, but they talked about how they would eventually open it up to even include like home console games, like, you know, even up to like Nintendo 64 games, or, you know, Super Nintendo or NES and stuff like that. So I think it'd be kind of funny if they included Virtual Boy games. Maybe that's just me, but I think that'd be kind of ironic if there were like Virtual Boy games on there. There were a few, a small few, but a few actually decent Virtual Boy games. So, you know, I'm just saying, you know. And then finally, of course, they had to talk about the new system. They really built it up, talking about how, you know, again, addressing the problem with the Wii, because the Wii, again, only appealed to casual gamers and was really like, especially early on in its life, but like throughout all of this last third gen thing, I've heard a lot of people call the Wii the party system, you know, and it's true. Like, the Wii definitely did not cater very well to people who were looking for a really good single player experience, or, you know, online multiplayer experience. You know, it really was strongly for those who frequently had company in their house and brought people to their house, and you know, then it was one of the best systems to have. So they talked about how the new system would not only tailor to local multiplayer, but, you know, online multiplayer and the single player experience too, which again proves that, you know, Nintendo is listening. Nintendo is hearing what the fans are saying about their system, and they want to improve it. And so, you know, of course, they had to give the new system a name. And okay, I know I said there was only one point where I criticized them, but I guess there's two. The new system is called the Wii U, and I'm like, really? This made like all of us in that room like facepalm. This name is stupid. I mean, I'll put it out there. This name is just stupid. Like, Nintendo systems always seem to have cooler code names than the actual system name itself. Like, y'all remember the Wii's code name, right? It was Nintendo Revolution. That sounded freaking amazing. But then it ended up being called the Wii. And so, you know, the Wii U's project name was Project Cafe. And I mean, like, that didn't sound like it was totally BA like the Revolution was, but it sounded cool enough. Definitely cooler than the Wii U, but, you know, again, there's really nothing you can do about that. They didn't actually show off the console itself. Like, I mean, they showed a video, which, you know, we'll get to the video in a minute, but they showed a video. And if you look, you can actually see what the console itself looks like, but they really made a point to show off the controller. And the controller, admittedly enough, is probably the most interesting part of the entire system. In my notes here, actually, I have where it kind of looks like a classic controller meets an iPad. You know, it has, hold on, it has sort of the look of this classic controller here. You know, it has like, you know, this little these, and then the trigger buttons back here, and these knobs are kind of both on the side, and the D-pad, and then it has, you know, some buttons too, you know. So it kind of looks like imagine this with a smaller version of this in the middle of it, you know. That's kind of what the new thing looks like, except again the screen is a lot smaller than an iPad. If I remember correctly, let's see, the notes say it said 6.2 inch screen, so you know it's not quite as big as the iPad here, but you know, to me that's kind of what it looked like, was like the classic controller meets iPad. And you know, to some that might sound really silly, but to me it looked really cool. Like, I mean, again, I'm really enjoying this iPad, you know, and I think I'll really enjoy the Wii U controller as well. I'll never enjoy that name though. That's for a fact. I'll never enjoy that name.